Yankee and the Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on air.
On the Fellatone with us is the one, the only, the most gorgeous woman in music, Annemarie Picerno.
Well, hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for having me, Donna and Randy.
Hey, that's what she
Hey.
sounds like in person.
I know.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I was telling Donna I would have popped in sooner, but I did have to work today, so I was kind of running around and trying to get my mojo and my coffee and get my second wind going here.
Work. Work? What do you do for work, can we ask?
I know. What is that? Well, I live in Nashville, which is not cheap to live in.
Sorry.
And I fund a lot of my own music. I do pay a producer, of course, to do all the wonderful arrangements that you heard. And I live on my own because I don't like sleeping on people's couches. So I pay my own bills. And so, yes, I do work a job along with doing my music.
There can be a lot
Yeah.
of fun sleeping on somebody else's couch.
Not really, no.
Sure. Free. What do you mean? Free breakfast
Plenty
in
of
the
people
morning? Free shower?
Those are the people that have slept on my couch, which I think I've put a stop to. Yeah.
You're sleeping with the
Nashville's
wrong
filled
people.
with a lot of poor artists that, try and make their way, of course. I've helped a few. I've helped many, including a few homeless people who just happen to be musicians. But I don't know. I think there's a reason for everything. I really do. So you never know what's going to happen here in Nashville.
That's right.
Well, our dog would love you to share his sofa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, my cat would not like your dog. I'll tell you that right now.
You might be surprised at what I like. Alfred, stay out of it. Sorry. You better be.
Alfred the radio dog, everybody. He always has to get his nose in everything.
Yeah, so what are the burning questions of what you want to know? Because I always think social media, once in a while you put a good rant out there, but I try and stay positive, even though it's been a tough road. I've been out of Nashville about 6 years. You always wonder what sometimes people think, what their perception is. Not like I really care, but it's
All
people
we
think
want to
you might
know
be
is
one way, and then I think they're surprised when they meet me in person.
all we want to know is whatever you want to tell us, because we don't. We're just happy to hear your stories.
When
Yeah, well,
did
there's
you
a lot
get
of 'em.
started? There's a
good question.
That's a good question, isn't it?
How old were you when you got into music, or when you first even heard music?
One question at a time.
Yeah, I was probably very involved from 5 years old. I was a flower in our kindergarten graduation, and you stuck your little face through the hole of the flower, and we sang our kindergarten graduation like birds we leave the nest, and I still remember it to this day. I was hooked. It was like a out of body experience. It was almost like I can see myself in the audience, seeing myself up there with all those little kindergarteners and me sticking my face through the hole in the flower and singing. I still remember it to this day. And me and my sisters, I have 2 older sisters, one a year and one 2 years older than me. And then there's a 10-year mistake that came after me, but that was 10 years later.
Ouch!
But me and my 2 sisters, we used to put on little concerts for my parents and grandparents. And I would sing, and my other sister would play the tambourine, and the other one might play drums. And, of course, they couldn't sing out of a paper bag. But I remember all that. And I was a very shy, quiet kid, actually. And so the teachers really encouraged my musical abilities because I played piano and guitar and ukulele and violin, and I wrote poems, and they'd have me play parts in little shows. And so, all the way up through high school and college, I was very, very involved in theater and music.
Where are you from originally?
Oh, well, I was actually born in New York, but I always say don't tell anybody. I could get kicked out of Nashville. And though from third grade on, I grew up in Arizona. So Arizona pretty much through my childhood through high school. And then I decided I wanted to go study musical theater in a college because I just liked all the theater, the dance, all of that. And moved out to Denver, Colorado for my college years and did a lot of theater out there and dinner shows. And then I migrated out to Florida where I spent about 20 years before moving to Nashville 6 years ago.
New York's a great place. I love it there.
Yeah, I've been back to visit a few times to see some relatives, and but it's been a while. I want to say the last trip probably was about 2005, something like that. Sure, I'd want to live there unless I had a lot of money.
Are you talking upstate New York or around the city?
Born in New Hyde Park.
Oh, geez.
Which, Jericho Turnpike. That's all I remember because I was pretty young. We moved away from there when I was in third grade. So, though I did get to go back, like I said, about 10, 12 years ago and saw a couple Broadway shows and walked into a jazz club. And Les Paul was playing guitar, and I swear there's just, New York's a lot like Nashville. There is always something going on in the city that never sleeps.
That's right.
Did it hurt when you walked into the jazz club?
Well, actually, interesting
you went in the
story on
doorway.
that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm known to be accident prone. But actually, when I went in and they said Les Paul is playing, because I'm like, $20 cover charge, he better be good. And they said it was Les Paul, and I'm like, who's Les Paul?
Oh, no. You can't do that.
It was like Les Paul only, invented the electric guitar and the Les Paul guitar. And he was brilliant.
Still,
the
$20,
guy,
it better be laced in gold for that money.
Yeah, 70, I think he was already in his 70s playing with a partner, and they were just in sync back and forth, just tearing apart the guitar, playing off of each other. It's amazing. And that's how Nashville is, too. I moved here with just everything in my car and a cat, actually 2 cats at the time, and didn't know a single soul. I had been in Florida doing a lot of theater and a lot of band stuff, and I was getting bored. The band, they just never wanted to learn new music every week, and I would get bored with singing the same songs every week. And I wanted to feel creative. I said, where can I go? So I thought New York, California, Vegas, or Nashville. And I decided on Nashville. And it did inspire me because all of a sudden when I got out here, I met all sorts of songwriters and musicians and went to writers' nights and started writing music. And I want to say the last 4 songs I think you played, they were all written here in Nashville, all about my journey coming out here and meeting crazy people and having heartache and joy and pain and all sorts of stuff has happened to me since moving here.
How'd you come up with Bad Girl? That's totally like a whole different genre right there. How did you? I mean,
it is.
I mean, I love it. I think that's a wicked song. But and I don't know who arranged the music, but that little those couple little background sounds are just like
a little
one
ding,
pluck,
ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
one pluck on a string or something,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's bad. That's wicked.
I need to look him up because that was right before I came out to Nashville. I did a pop rock EP, which only had 5 songs. It was all pop rock and really went into that belt vocal, and all the harmonies are done by me. And I wrote that song. I think I actually had 2 that I started and goes, well, we need to do at least 5. Let's do at least half an album. And I just wrote that song on the spot. And I had an old Yamaha electric and was playing around with sounds. And I don't know, when I write music, the lyrics just write themselves. I think I'm a pretty good writer. I like to write witty, even if I'm writing sexy, I like it to be tasteful.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything in Bad Girl. It's playful, it's naughty, but it's tasty and tasteful. So
Yeah, you're right.
don't want
It's
to
a
get
cool
anybody to
song.
get the wrong idea, you know.
It
But
takes it takes me
and-
back to disco days in a way.
yeah, like Donna Summer and
Exactly.
the dance Motown, because I did grow up on a lot of Aretha Franklin, Etta James, Barbara Streisand, of course, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, and
What's your earliest
I
musical
learned
memory?
well, I mean, you remember those old tape recorders that had the 4 little buttons, play, record, and forward and rewind, and
Yeah.
maybe there was a 5th, the stop button had little cassette tape, and it was flat and square, and I would sit in the bathroom with probably a very out of tune guitar, because I actually have found some of those cassette tapes and hear myself on them and preserve some songs off of that that I recorded professionally later. But I would sing all through high school, and I would record in the bathroom because of the acoustics, or what I thought were good acoustics, and write music. And those little organs that had the little instant key, the chord key on it. You wanted to play G, you just hit the G chord and C. And I was doing all that from a kid. I'd come home from school and write music and play and write all the time.
Wow. Ooh,
Yeah,
very
in fact,
cool.
one of the songs on the Bad Girl album was one of those songs I wrote way back in high school, called Waiting for the Day. That producer in Florida, he really was good, though he went by an assumed name, meaning I think his name was Mark Smith, but he went by the more exciting name of Adrian Michaels. And I really didn't know anything, because I had done theater for so long and live bands. I didn't know anything about radio back then. They actually had me signed to a publishing deal, but my sister kind of ruined that for me, because she helped me with the money to get the album recorded. So actually, that album recorded back in 2006, I didn't do anything with it until I moved to Nashville a couple of years ago. And then it started getting radio airplay. And Bad Girl is on Bongo Boy Records compilation album 2, which is a great, if you're an indie artist or listening in the chat room, they are a great label for the independent artist, where you can release a single on their compilation album with other indie artists, and they market to Asia and Europe and put it on CD Baby for you. And they have a music video channel over 66 cable stations.
Wow.
They're really been very supportive, and they have helped promote that song along with some other songs I've released with their label. So check them out, Bongo Boy Records.
Well, now that we're talking about songs, I got to ask you about this one, the Bonfire. How did you manage, or who managed, or how did this all come together with all these little powerful voices all
Speaking of
coming together over
Bonfire, Donna Joe's in the chat room.
Hello,
Your-
Donna.
Your partner in crime.
Donner Wanner.
That's what she calls me. She calls me Donna Wanner.
Yeah. I love Donna Joe. I always say, I love my Donna Joe. I want to get a T-shirt. I love my Donna Joe T-shirts right here.
Look at you coming up with a southern accent.
She's such a great girl. I'm from Georgia. I'm from the mountains.
Uh-huh.
Virginia. Virginia. I've got a demon dog, is what she would say.
I call it Snowball.
Yeah. But that song, I was going through actually a really dark period, because, there's a lot of snakes out here in Nashville. And I met a songwriter that pretty much stole all my money, and he was a druggie, and he was a drunk, and an abusive ass. Let's just put it that way. And I did a lot of stuff for him, which actually gets played on the radio in my little home studio. And he got publishing deals and treated me like crap. And long story short, I finally broke away from all that. And so songs like Rain were coming out of the darkness, and I Don't Know What Love Is. That's about that commitment to, your music, and that relationship of how you kind of hate it, you love it, but you need it. And how does one even commit to a person, through thick and thin, rich or poor, sickness and health? So Bonfire, I had a little demo on guitar, And Gene DiPiero, he's another radio friend of mine that said he wanted to help a lot of people and gave me an idea of an inspirational song. Let's call it Bonfire, that burning. Let's keep it burning, the fire of helping other people and coming together. And I just wrote it in 5 minutes. I looked up, I researched bonfires. Countries, they have celebrations. Bonfires have been in wars. There's been festivals. It's everything from a single guitar around the bonfire to people telling stories, coming together in music, to huge international festivals. And I included all those references in the song. Now, I was really depressed during this time because I had no money and I had an accident. I basically had vertigo and blacked out, fell on my face, broke my nose, fractured my jaw. I was in really bad shape. So Steve Owen and Benny Pittsinger, they were like, hey, we're recording with our producer. Why don't you come on, check out our session? And it took every bit of effort because I think it was only a month after breaking my face, and I hadn't had surgery yet. I suffered for about 5 months with a broken nose and a lot of pain before I had the first trying to straighten it out and my breathing. And so I met their producer, Bob McGilpin, who wrote like Sexy Thing and performed in it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And another song, a disco hit. He was on Billboard, but I had no idea. He just nice older guy. And saw Benny perform or record his song. I want to say it was called Chicken Wings or something about chicken wings.
Buffalo wings.
That's all I remember. Angel with chicken. Yeah. And, but it had chicken wing references. And boy, I getting hungry. And so these guys were great. They helped me introduce, and I played my guitar, and he said, yeah, I can do some songs for you. And Lisa Coppola, who you hear kind of duetting with me on the verses, she used to sing with Billy Joel, go on tour, and an artist in her own right. She helped me get some of the funding for those recordings. And, it was meant, I wrote it as a solo, but as these people helped me, I'm like, why don't you come be on this song with me? Because this song is about people coming together. And I had met Donna Joe about a year before that at the Josie Awards, just partying out on the patio and playing guitar and having a good time. And I love her. She's a great soul, and I knew she could just nail that gospel. So she is the only one that could not come in person to the studio. We giggled and laughed on a Facebook Live through the phone, and I taught her the part, through the cell. We were video chatting and laughing and taught her the part, and she sent it back remote, and we added her track and her voice into the rest of the song. And it's done really well over the year, and it was up for Best Collaboration at Josie Awards. It was up for a couple other nominations, and it's on Bongo Boy Records as well as my website, AnnemaRiePicerno.com, and all the iTunes and music stores. And I don't know, I still have some big hopes for it. I really wanted to do a kind of like a flash mob video, and who knows, that still might be in the works. I've got some ideas still for that song, either somebody covering it or make your own bonfire flash mob with a prize, and that's going to take some sponsors. But if they want to get the tracks, I'm thinking I'm going to make them available for people to do their own version or do some sort of interesting video to the existing song. So but that's how that all came about, and we all came together in some great way, and they're all wonderful artists all on their own.
Absolutely. Sure. Do you think that it's important nowadays to do a video with a song?
I do. I wish I had more money, and I'm a little proud. I'm not as much into GoFundMe and some things that people do, but I think you need a sponsor. A video is an investment, but I'll give props to a couple people out there that understand the importance. There's I've never met her personally, but Catherine Shipley Washington, she's one of my co-artists on Bongo Boy Records, and Natalie Jean, she's somebody I met at Josie Awards, and they're both go-getters. They're power women. And Lisa Coppola, my friend, they understand the importance of videos because it's a visual. We are in a medium, social media as a musician, that now it's not just about the song, it's about presentation, it's about the visual media, and video has a very important part in that. And then as an independent artist, you have all these free avenues to promote your album through video, whether it's a music video, whether it's documentary, whether it's behind the scenes. And Natalie Jean and Catherine, both I have seen just over the last couple months, have submitted their music videos to film festivals. They have categories for music video. They have categories for documentary. And other things they put that there, and a lot of indie artists I don't think consider that. And they may have had to pay a $30 entry fee. I'm not sure, but they're getting awards left and right. Plus they get that exposure. Now, I haven't yet made a music video, but Bonfire did have a little documentary about all the artists, and that's been aired on cable. And all my little commercials get aired on the Bongo Boy TV cable station. So I'm learning that I think you have to have it, and it's an investment, and you have to consider that with your songs, because as an artist, it will show your interpretation of the song, but everybody gets their own visual. If you just hear the music, you get
Right.
your own visual.
Exactly.
Right. So
Is there some place we can see that video? I'd love to see that.
The video of the bonfire.
YouTube, let me
it's
see
on
if I-
there.
Is it? I'd never.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
let me
don't think I've watched
see. I will see if I'll look it up. And
I love the behind the scenes things in the studio, people talking. I've watched a gazillion of them, Willie Nelson and Merle, and you name it. I just can't watch enough of those things.
you can learn so much by watching documentaries. I admit, I even watched that movie that came out just a couple years ago on the Backstreet Boys. And my interest in that is I used to know A.J. McLean, the guy that got hooked on all the drugs, and his mom was Janice McLean, and he was 12 years old when I knew him and her in Orlando, Florida. I used to go to the beach with them and hang out with them, and he was just a kid all into singing and music. So I moved away to Tampa, and I'm watching Oprah like 8 years later, whenever it was quite a while later, and there she was on Oprah, the Book of the Month, talking about her son and Backstreet Mom and the book she wrote. And I realized that he had become one of the Backstreet Boys. So now the movie shows their journey of them coming back out, how they got, screwed over by Lou Pearlman, and how they were coming back. Now they're on a major gig in Vegas. I mean,
Yeah,
isn't that
I heard
amazing that we touch lives with people that are, I watched that movie, and it was actually very heartfelt, plus I knew him, but I mean, he's a grown man now. It wasn't the kid that I knew. And their successes, their pain, what they went through, and they work so hard. I also saw Taylor Swift's concert tour. She works very, very hard, and I love, of course, the making of Janis Joplin's tour. I love that video documentary, and the one about Woodstock. What an awesome film that is.
Yeah, I think I saw
Woodstock
part
and
of
the
that.
producers.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I've seen that a million times, because they had no idea that so many people were going to come out to that festival, and what a historical moment that was going to be. So you don't know when you're doing your behind the scenes. I always tell everybody, capture that. Even if you don't post it, collect these things, get these memories, and because you never know. It can be compiled, edited later. It can be a part of your history.
You just got to be careful that you don't spend too much time behind the camera and miss everything that's going off, because I've made that mistake. I've been filming this and recording that and getting pictures of this and videos of that, and I've missed the atmosphere. I've missed everything that's going on because I'm too busy looking in that little
you miss the whole
oblong
experience.
screen. So I try and do like a mixture of both. If it is something I really want to capture, then I'll record it. But if it's something that's not really that important, I'm not too bothered about it.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the new generation of country stars and the music industry today?
What do I think of the new? What was that word you said?
What do you think of the music industry today and the new generation of country stars?
Oh, country. I was like, what is she saying? That
Am I talking a foreign language?
British talking about the country. It's absolutely bloody insane.
That would be my wife.
Oh, you suck at that. You really suck.
I really suck. How about my Spanish accent? You want to hear my Spanish accent? My name is Maria Lolita Conchita. I want to eat ya Garcia.
Oh, señorita, muy bueno.
Yeah. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Anyway, the music is. I see people win awards, and I go to listen to that award-winning song, and I think, you suck. And then I see some brilliant people, and I see Donna Joe, and I go, this lady is brilliant. I love her music. And, she had some pop record label that wanted to make her a pop star, and they had no clue who she was as an artist. And that happens, So people use social media, and they get all these fans, and but what does it all mean if you don't have album sales and tours? It's a lot of work. I'm older. I'm 53. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm a good songwriter. I think I'm a good singer. I've got years of experience in entertainment, theater, comedy, TV, film, music, bands. I've done it all. Impersonations. So I know who I am as an artist. So the hardest thing is just being patient and just being true to myself to just keep making the music that I want to make. So if you're young, of course, and you're in your 20s and you really want to do it, I say educate yourself, read as much as you can about the industry, copyright your work, learn how to register it correctly, all those things. Read, learn, take advice from people that are there, study the successful people, always be willing to learn and stretch the bar. And I still do that now. I never feel like I'm where I want to be, but I keep at it.
Have you ever been starstruck?
I've met a few celebrities. Here in Nashville, you're going to run into old school country stars like Lulu and
She's still alive?
Brenda Lee. Oh yeah, Lulu from Hee Haw and Brenda Lee. And I met John Rich. I actually was invited to a Christmas party at his little pad downtown Nashville, and they had a stage and lights, and what was his name? Dee Snider was there. Boy, did he put on an act. Dee Snider.
I want to ride.
I want to.
Oh, he was the best. He had so much energy, and he's got to be in his 60s, and he still was in shape and running all around the stage and could still sing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is awesome. So that Nashville is a lot like that. You never know. Sometimes you could be in a bar and Blake Shelton will walk in, or Steven Tyler. You never know who might walk in. I've seen Randy Travis and Gene Watson, and so you get a little, because you don't know how to act. You just like, hey, you want to talk on their level, and they do talk to you, and sometimes we're in events with them, but I don't know. I think we're all stars in our own way, really. Just some had a little bit more money or a little more luck.
Yes, very, very, very true. So do you intend on staying independent for the foreseeable future?
Well, I would take an opportunity if somebody offered it to me. You have to, because a record label is like saying, hey, we're willing to invest whatever they're willing to invest, $500,000 to try and help you get a song to Billboard. You get that one shot, because really that's what it takes, is about $500,000 to get a song over to Billboard.
What will it cost you in the end to do that, though? Are you willing
Well, you
to
better
give up
get
some
the
things?
album sales. You better have the right team.
Yeah, but I mean, are you willing to
market and advertise, get you out to the masses so you sell?
Are you willing to give
the
up some of
million
your ways,
albums
though?
and make the money back? Sure, if they wrote the song with me. I mean, publishing. I haven't seen. I make a small amount of royalties because I really, like I said, studied to learn how do I get my royalties. Well, you got to copyright it. You need to register at Sound Exchange. Nielsen BDS, you got to send them your encoded music so it's recognized if it does get played on FM or even internet, being on stations that play royalties. So I'm going to bring this up just because it really pissed me off this week. There's some friend that said, I'm sick of you talking about your internet radio, this or that. And I was like, you know what? Don't knock the little guy either. The internet radio stations, the hosts that I don't care if you get 20 people in your chat room, you have one listener, they're not getting paid. They're doing it for free. They're still helping us. They're posting it online. They're putting us out there for free. And that is why I try and help promote the stations as well that play me on Twitter and on social media. But internet can be just as valuable, and many internet stations that started small have become bigger and bigger every year, or network and collaborate with other stations or networks and become bigger, so you never know. And it's free for us as an indie artist. You would be foolish to not utilize internet radio just as much. It's not all about FM. So it's a combination, I think, of everything. And I would certainly take advantage of any offer, that might elevate me more than what I am today, because I work hard and fund it and struggle, and I have to compete against people that have managers and labels and a lot more money than I do. Then this past year wasn't too bad as far as being recognized for some award shows and nominations and things like that, making it on charts. And, so you go, hey, I did pretty darn good doing this all on my own because I do everything my own.
Well, I guess this is where I at
Right
least
now.
say thanks for supporting the internet stations, because, we pay for everything on this end in order just to help get you guys out there. And, of course, we do it. Donna and I personally do it because we just love the music and enjoy meeting new people and, like this, getting to chat with somebody, get to know them a little better. I tickle to death to do it,
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have to, like I said, take advantage of all means. So that's internet radio, that's live performances, that's television, that's videos, that's any opportunity to get your music out there, especially as an indie. If you're on a shoestring budget, you have to explore, follow the people that are successful in doing it as well. I'm not saying copy them, but we all share, and we share our knowledge. And I have other artist friends that are like-minded and positive, and they don't feel like you're in competition. That we share, hey, I heard of this great place, or, check this out. We all share our knowledge to help each other.
I think it all benefits everybody in the end.
Yeah. Now, in the younger days, I wasn't as beat up. I could drive 6 hours to Miami for a audition and sleep in my car or sleep on the beach or, go here and there and travel. I'm a little more grounded in Nashville. I'm going on 6 years. I got a lease, that I got to pay, and bills, and a car falling apart. So I work hard, and then every other hour is music. I would certainly take an opportunity if somebody offered it so I could not have to work a boring job. But for me, it's a steady source of income that funds my recordings and the things I'm trying to do with my music right now. But it would be wonderful to tour and do music full time.
So what do you do to wind
absolutely.
down?
I don't drink a lot, but
you must have a hobby of some sort.
I really don't do as many extraneous things as I used to do. It's go to work, come home. Social media just takes hours sometimes, all the websites and radio shows, and I'm either writing, I'm either recording, and then occasionally once in a while I'll get out because there's so much to do in Nashville. There's writers' nights, there's wonderful musicians in every nook and cranny of Nashville, and I love to get out and hear the live music. I'm not so big on the Broadway scene downtown Nashville as I am like across from Opryland or all the traditional country and really great pickers with fiddle and steel guitar and, doing the classic country. And there's a great blues scene out here. I've gone down to Printer's Alley and sung in some of the blues club and get out my Janis Joplin, Etta James when I feel like screaming and yelling and not doing country, because I love doing all different styles of music. I really do.
So hopes and dreams for the future. Now, you were talking about if somebody came along with a contract, you'd be willing to sign one. Is that part of your hopes and dreams that'll happen and you can do what you were saying, just concentrate on the music and, sit back and paint portraits during the day or something?
Absolutely. That would be wonderful. What's amazing is I have some songwriter friends that actually wrote for several famous people, like my friend Zach Van Arsdale. He had a hit. He had Jerry Lee Lewis record some of his songs. He had Joni Mitchell record his song Tumbleweed. I want to say Waylon Jennings did one, and Gene Watson, and he still works his butt off today recording other artists, because back then you could walk into a studio and go, hey, I want to pitch you this song. It's a lot harder. I haven't yet looked completely into film licensing and publishing as far as other people doing my music, but I feel once my album is finished, I still got about 4 or 5 songs to complete the album I got 3 in production right now. And once the album's finished, I'll feel like I have a body of work to take to publishers to look into placements and stuff. You can't just give them a bad demo anymore. It still has to be kind of radio ready even to pitch to publishers if you want, maybe it in a commercial or a movie or another artist. I mean, if it's just guitar or piano and voice, it better be very clean and still professionally mastered to pitch. So I'm almost there with a good repertoire of songs that I feel are getting to the point where, hey, wow, she writes interesting songs. Because I think I write above average lyrics, and I think there's a story to tell. Now, also on the bucket list is taking all the songs off the album and putting it in an original theatrical production here in Nashville. That's on my bucket list. It will have a story, a script, dancers, stage lighting, costumes, with my music.
That's really
and that's
going
where
all
Songs
out.
from Nashville is coming from. Yeah, now that's going to take either getting a grant or some funding, but there's nice theater scene out here in Nashville as well. So to take those songs and bring it to life. So that will be kind of like the live video. And part of my concept on that as well might be to get like the dance department, say, of the college or university here, that choreograph their number to my music and use that as the interpretive video. And I've got a lot of ideas. It takes time, energy, and money for sure. But, every day, if you're putting a little bit of something into your music and your craft, then you're doing it the right way. You can't just think about it every day. You got to work towards it.
So in the end, you would like to be like Blake Shelton famous?
Well, what is he on, his second, third marriage? No. I think it would be very gratifying to be on a stage and perform my music, period. Small theater, regional festivals, tours. Absolutely, I would love it. I came across a letter today. I don't know why. I was looking for some pictures, looking through my boxes of pictures and stuff before digital. I have all sorts of photos. And I came across a letter that was written to me in, I want to say, like 2004. I played hooky. I went out to Pennsylvania and did dinner theater. And it was called Honky Tonk Angels. It was all the music of Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton, classics. Harper Valley PTA was in it. I was Angela, the trailer mom. And it was a 3-woman show. And this lady wrote this very nice letter complimenting and just talking about my performance. And I came across this letter because I saved it. And I'm like, that's what it's about, is engaging with the fans and somebody feeling something from what you do, whether you're acting, whether you're singing, that you touch something in them emotionally. That's how people get fans.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, let me get into my my famous questions here, and then we'll cut you loose.
Boring questions.
You can't avoid saying that, can you?
No, I can't, because the questions are boring, Poor Annemarie, she's going to fall asleep on the phone. Stop looking at me like that.
So what's boring?
I'm just giving her dirty looks. What's your favorite word?
Come on, make something up.
My favorite word. I don't know. Probably nap, because I don't get enough of it. I love a little nap in the afternoon.
Yeah. 2 o'clock is nap time.
But,
what's your least favorite word?
yeah. No, bills. And I won't date anybody named Bill either.
Oh, no, no,
My
no.
name is William, but my friends call me Bill or Richard.
I'm
I won't
just a
date those
bill
either.
on Capitol Hill. What turns you on?
Hmm. I'm a big romantic. I know Rain was kind of a, coming out of the dark song and being sad and lonely, bad girls, fun and playful. I love writing songs like that too. That I got a couple of them. Got to get some of that. I got one called Get Sexy that's in production right now that I think is a badass song. Get Sexy, and it's got kind of it might be like a bad girl, but I'm wanting it to be more country rock. And I like putting playfulness just as much and humor in the songs. I got another song called Trouble, which is a duet between a man and a woman, and they're basically saying we're getting in trouble again, and it's back and forth banter. And I like
That must be
those
about the
songs
Yankee and
just
the
as
Brit.
much. Yeah. Yeah, you guys will have a good time making a video to that one if I ever get it out of the studio. That one's going to take a while because the music is done, and we're waiting on an artist who's out on tour doing a video to come back, hopefully to put the vocals on in September. So, but it's written, it's ready. Just need to lay the vocals now in the studio, and that's the toughest thing is collaborating. You can write all the songs you want, then you got to open yourself up to working with other people. And I'll tell you, they're like Bonfire was effortless getting those people together. It just all fell together. We had so much fun in the studio and great time. The producer, Bob McGilpin, he's so easy to work with, and he gives you your feedback. And then you have experiences too where you've got the vision in your head and you know what you wanted, and then you get with somebody that doesn't think in line of what you want. And those are the toughest, to either let those people go or take feedback or make changes. So it's all about the collaboration. So when anybody wins an award on best collaboration, I guess that would be true, because you really do have to get along with the people that you work with. It will show in the work, if you had fun or if you didn't have fun doing it. I like to have fun, and I've got a lot of songs that nobody's heard, but I'm being more selective as far as trying to put out good quality. No more demos, no more, you have to if you want to try and make money with your music, which I see some royalties. I don't make enough, but I get the deposits to maybe pay my website for another year or release another album. You know what I mean? I just put it back into keeping the music out there.
What turns you off?
Selfish people. I've helped a lot of people, and probably more of a lying, selfish person, because I've had people that say they'll do things and they really don't, and you realize they played you, and it always hurts me to the core, because I'm a really giving person, and I've helped some artists and helped some musicians this year that some of them really screwed me over right before a major surgery. That they didn't pay me back money they owed me, and swore up and down they were going to be there for me, and they weren't. So you realize very quickly who you can trust. No one. It's like, it sounds so selfish.
No, it doesn't. I couldn't agree more.
I try and dissect it and analyze why people are really crappy sometimes, and I just can't wrap my head around it when I think of who who really keeps their word. I really value people that do what they say they're going to do.
What sound do you love?
I love the sound of running water, the ocean,
Waterfalls.
nature. Yeah, that's the one thing I miss about Florida. I really miss the ocean. I think it's very therapeutic. I'm a water girl. So, I love the sound of my cat purring. I wake up to this. I come up out of the sleep and dreaming, and I hearing. I wake up and I hear the vibration. She's right on my pillow in my head. I don't have to wake up to an alarm. She is so smart. She gets me up at 5 a.m. every morning. And it's a really cool way to wake up,
What
She
sound?
just lays there. She doesn't jump on me or anything. She just purrs.
What sound do you hate?
I hate talking. When I watch somebody's videos on Facebook and somebody posts their gig and you hear everybody in the audience talking, that annoys me to no end. It's like, shut up, people.
I know you're there for the music. Shut up and listen to it.
Exactly. That's how I feel.
What's your favorite?
I've had it on my gigs. I can't, that's how they're.
What's your favorite drink? You have one?
Oh, it's changed a little bit as my liver has eroded over the years. In my 20s, I swear, I could drink. You could pull out a bar receipt that was like 3 feet long, and you wake up the next day hungover and go into work and go, I really drank all that, did I? Wow, that's like 3 foot long receipt. Now it's like one drink and I'm done. But I like Southern Comfort in cranberry with lime. Now I'm out in
Ooh.
Tennessee, so they got some good moonshine out here, like
Oh,
Grandma's apple pie, and
I'll just have a shot of
they
turkey,
got
thank
some
you.
really, yeah. But I'm not big on beer. Makes me have to go to the loo too much. I don't like beer. But I like that or Jack and Coke. I've gotten. But I don't go out very often because I'm always trying to save money and put it into another project. So very rarely do I really
What
get out and party as hard.
what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Um, I've always been somewhat of a teacher, believe it or not. I don't get paid for the promotion that I do for radio stations. I mean, there's some that really rely on me and they will message and say, hey, we need a radio liner for this. Can you record this? Can you announce this? Can you say the news for this? Can you make us a poster? Can you? And that's very time consuming stuff, but I have the equipment. I will do it. And I get all sorts of questions in my chat on Facebook. Other artists that are learning asking me questions of how do they do this? How do they do that? I spend a lot of time explaining stuff in Facebook chat. It got to the point where I had to turn my chat off, but people message. It's just, it doesn't make it as obvious. And, one girl just released a song, didn't have a clue, spent a lot of money asking every big question. And I'm like, you've got to do this. You've got to register here. You got to check out this website. But they want everybody to tell them the answers instead of reading. If I give you the link and the resource, read it, study it, learn it, because that's how I learn. But people have helped me, so I try and reciprocate, and I'm a good teacher. I've also taught a lot of voice and specialized in that in college and had an excellent teacher. A lot of people with vocal problems, I try and help them with that. Most people, I talk on the phone all day and I can still sing and do a 4-hour gig afterwards. Most people lose their voice because they don't know how to breathe or support. So I try and just pass on everything that I know to help others if they want to know, but I haven't charged anybody. So I suppose I'd be a teacher if I wasn't performing.
What profession would you not like to do?
That's a tough one. Probably what I'm doing now. I talk with a lot of dumb people. You have to enjoy your work. So what I do to pay the bills is not as exciting. But sometimes I pretend I'm on the radio. See, I work in a call center. So sometimes people call in and I crack jokes and they're laughing and all of a sudden I feel like I'm on the radio again. So, I realized I probably could use my humor a little bit more at work, and it would probably make my day go a heck of a lot better.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you get to the gates?
When I get to heaven, I'm going to be singing the lead in the choir with Donna Joe, probably. We're going to be dancing and eating ice cream and feeding our dogs and
So what do you want to hear God say?
What's that?
What do you want to hear God say?
I want him to tell me that I am forgiven for anything bad I've ever done in my life and that I am loved.
For all your bad girl sins.
Just in life, When you look back at, I would say people that, I think when you do pass, a lot of people want to purge any regrets and know that it was all worth it. I call it 6 degrees of separation. Meaning when you think of who was this person that hurt you or bad relationship, well, maybe they introduced you to somebody else and that somebody else, you met somebody else or you ended up here or there and that still shaped and molded you or introduced you to somebody that maybe was a great person. And so, it's all connected and this sounds really hokey, but when somebody says, I want to thank God, and they're talking about their journey. Like they wouldn't, wherever they're thinking at that time, they they didn't end up there if they hadn't traveled through those people or those experiences for that moment that they're feeling excited and joyful about. So I think it's all connected in one way or another of where we end up. So
I agree.
I still think there's a deep inner purpose in my life, and I still feel like I haven't made it there yet.
It sounds like you're well on your way.
Yeah. I feel like I've come to a place where I know who I am as an artist. I enjoy how I'm writing my music. My producer that did Rain and Bonfire, I sent him that song, Get Sexy, and he's like, do you really want to put that out there? I'm like, what do you mean put that out there? And I won't reveal the lyrics, but it's not any worse than Bad Girl. It's still very tasteful. But I think he was hearing a different sound from me, and he wasn't prepared because I was being so artsy with Bonfire and Rain and I Don't Know What Love Is and Closer. And I'm like, yeah, but what I tried to explain to him, I said, you have to realize I am writing this from the perspective of the person singing the song. It's not Annemarie singing the song. It's the character singing the song.
Right.
And it's in that bucket list of the show, I said, where this song is being sung to somebody in my vision of what this show I want to produce. And he goes, oh, well, it's just so different. And I'm like, yeah, and that's why I want to do it. So I realized in that conversation, because I love him to death, he's an awesome producer,
Well, I hope you'll
that
send
even
us
he was learning my music.
I
Yeah.
hope you'll send us a copy of that when you get it done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a great tune.
Well, I'd say that's all I have for now, and it's been awesome sitting here just carrying on with you for a little while. You can't beat it, man. I'm so glad you took the time out of your busy schedule and your life and all that to spend some time with us, and thank you for promoting us and the internet stations. I think that in itself is quite an exciting little thing.
I do appreciate it. You guys are great. You're crazy. I love all the videos you make. And thank you so much for having me. And if anybody wants to check out my music, you can find me on just about any social media site, iTunes, Amazon. You can go to Annemarie.Picerno.com or also ReverbNation.com/amplified sound, or just Google my name, Annemarie Picerno.
How cool is that? Thank you very much, my dear. I appreciate it. Hope we can talk again soon.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
More music. Flashing back. Music.